Hey everybody, welcome to the Primal Show. We've got myself, Nicole Hellendoorn of California Paleo Kitchens, Gary Collins, the creator of the Primal Power Method, and Heath Squier, the owner of Julian Bakery. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Outstanding.
Awesome. So today we are going to be talking about cleanses. Dun dun dun.
Not the
Yes.
one
uh,
people are thinking of.
yeah, well, it's kind of one of those terms that's gotten a really strange spectrum of connotations over the past few years, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Master cleanse,
Coffee,
anyone
the
remember that?
coffee
Drink some lemon
enemas and
juice
all
and
that
some
good
maple
stuff.
syrup.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I
There's
like
all kinds of different varieties
the
of it.
the coffee MCT cleanse now. That's the big one.
Oh,
That's the new. You're
well,
right.
that'll definitely that'll get things moving, if you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
sure.
Yeah. No. Well, we wanted to talk a little bit today about before you begin. If you're setting off to lose weight and your energy levels are low, one of the best ways to get your energy levels back is to really cleanse and to kind of to do a colon cleanse. We recommend upping your fiber intake. At least I do. And there's a couple of great fibers out there like konjac fiber, which is glucomannan. It's a plant fiber. And that's in powder form. We also sell noodles with it. And then psyllium fiber is another, psyllium seed fiber specifically, not just psyllium, is one of the best ways to also cleanse. I do like actually espresso and MCTs together. I actually take a organic MCT oil in a capsule form, and my espresso in the morning if I'm having issues getting things moving. But what I found is like a lot of people are setting off to lose this weight and they don't have the energy and they don't want to go to the gym, and it's like their energy levels are so low. But if they simply did this cleanse to begin, they're going to have more energy and they're going to want to eat better. They're going to want to go to the gym more. And what do you guys think?
Gary, I'll let you
Uh,
take this one first.
well, and I think cleansing is important. It's very confusing too. It's because there's so many different versions. I tell people the best way to jumpstart your system into weight loss and health is to start with a cleanse because basically it's a detoxification, and it's a rapid detoxification, especially for people who have been, the standard American who's been eating crappy for decades. And what it does is it purges all those stored toxins out of your fat cells in your liver. It helps so with your digestive tract to get your digestion back on track. What it does though, for me, I started off in my journey years ago with a 10, 14-day cleanse. I'm a little different. Heath likes using pill form. I'm more of a traditionalist, and there are supplements, but with the cleanse that I did, and I recommend there's 5 different supplements because you're detoxifying multiple organs at the same time instead of just targeting one. And you add with that food. So it's like a transition. I did it cold turkey, and I went from this, my normal diet that I thought was healthy into this, and I took my supplements, and then I ate nothing. I had to go find organic fruits and vegetables, which at the time I didn't even know where to find them. So I had to go search, and I had to go figure out where to go get my fruits and vegetables. And it's basically a very narrow diet, but there was no restriction on how much I could eat. The restriction is upon what you eat. So I cut out dairy. Um, I don't believe there was any beans in it. I think you had to cut out, there wasn't very much protein as far as meat. It was a lot of fruits, vegetables, primarily vegetables. I think I could play with a little bit of almond butter. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to post this at some point on my website. And I'm going to put together the cleanse that I use and I've put other people through. And for me, it was a nice journey. But I'll be honest, people who are looking to do this and cleanse and detox, it's 2 weeks of hell. I mean, you do not feel good. You feel awful. It's like having the flu, a mild case of the flu. I don't recommend, if you can do it, taking 2 weeks off from work. You're going to be cranky. You're going to be nasty. You're going to probably yell at your husband, wife, significant other. You're going to not sleep very well. And the key to it was you don't exercise as well. You just walk. It's like getting in touch with your whole nature and your body again. It's real interesting, the one I did. It's called the Four Winds Cleanse. The guy is out of Omaha, Nebraska, the book. And he has his own clinic, but that's the way I did it.
That sounds miserable, Gary. I don't think
It's,
anybody would want to follow that cleanse.
I'm
I'm
not, it is really, really difficult, but I have seen people who have done it similar and done it the way I've done it. I think it gives them the best jump start, because what it does is once you're done, you can't go back to your diet, what you ate before. You will get so sick.
Oh,
I went out with my girlfriend at the time, and we went and had Mexican food like
Oh.
2 days after I stopped. I didn't even do it right away. I stopped.
Oh no, not Mexican.
I was a mess. I mean, instantly the stomach started gurgling and started sweating, and I'm all, oh my God, what have I done to myself? And what it did for people who really struggle with food addictions, it is a gem, because you really cannot go back to those foods. It really takes them out, because what it does is you're reintroducing these toxins that you've had in your body for so long, and now your body's cleansed everything, and it's basically rebooted. And you put that in your body, and it's an instant reaction. It happens very rapidly.
Well, yeah, that's so miserable what you just said there.
You literally could not have made a worse food choice other than maybe Indian food. Like, there's nothing else you could have eaten that would have been worse after that kind of cleanse.
I know. And then I had a couple beers with it too, after cutting out pretty much all the grains. And then throwing in a couple beers, and
let me say, I have a much simpler way to cleanse. We sell a product called Sculpting Cleanse. As this Sculpting Cleanse capsule, you take 1 to 2 before you go to bed, and in the morning you cleanse and you take a probiotic. Okay, and then sometime during the day, just up your greens. So juice some spinach, broccoli. Ginger is amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing for stomach health. I mean, you talk about getting a flat stomach quickly. Juice broccoli and ginger together and mix it with some lemon and take little shots of that. Broccoli, like I said before, has indole-3 carbinol. It's an anti-estrogen, so it starts filtering out the estrogen in your blood. It's called that like anti-puffy, mechanism
Diuretic.
of broccoli. Yeah, it's just it's amazing. And you start doing that, you're going to have incredible health. I mean, I like wheatgrass. It oxygenates the blood. So I have that sometime during the day mixed with ginger shot. It's incredible. Your health will rapidly transform if you start consuming these things that I just mentioned right there. It's amazing, and it's overnight, because when you cleanse, it's not just about cleansing. You got to put the good bacteria back in your stomach. And that's how you start getting that real nice, firm, flat stomach, is cleansing, probiotic, upping the greens, real simple protocol, and it doesn't have to be miserable like Gary said.
Does not have to be miserable. You always have a detox, like the low carb flu. I think, one of the phrases that's been floating around for this. The first 7 to 10 days, it can be pretty rough, but if it's going to be over in 7 to 10 days, that's the other thing. It's like, it's a week and a half, power through, you're going to be fine, you'll feel so much better. And I baby stepped into paleo, so for me it was a little bit of a more staggered approach, but
yeah, you've heard of the cleanse bounce, though, too, is once you get past that initial detoxification, everyone says they get this bounce of energy and they feel amazing. Right. It's like this huge rush, because all these biochemical pathways have now been opened up, and now you're actually getting the nutrients, too, and you're getting more oxygen to your brain. You're getting more oxygen to your muscles. You're getting the nutrients to your muscles. So it's this huge rush, and it is torturous. I'm not going to lie. But I will give warning, too, for people. You said lemon juice. I have found over the years that many people are allergic to citrus. And citrus is a hidden allergy that a lot of people don't know, because a lot of people, we don't intake a lot of citrus. I mean, most people don't. It's something you kind of take here and there. But people who have done it, I've seen it with adding the lemon juice to water to help with digestion. And I've watched people have serious immune reactions to it. And it's just one of these things that's kind of occurred that I've noticed. The 3 big allergens are grains, dairy, and citrus. Citrus is the one you never hear about. But no, I mean, it's not everyone.
It's to cut the flavor is why I said that.
Yeah.
If you totally want to man up and take on broccoli and ginger by yourself, I mean, it's amazing. Rough. It's very powerful. But you know what? Sometimes you have to go the extra mile to get the results. And don't be afraid of that. You know what? So what? It tastes bad for 10 minutes. Then bite an orange or something else to counteract it.
And the easiest way to test allergies, honestly, with citrus is to just go out and have a tangerine orange. Don't do a lemon, for the love of God. Don't do that. But just eat it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. And if you notice that your lips start tingling or you start getting rapid burn, not like it's almost like indigestion. You actually have a citrus allergy. That's the easiest way to tell. And that's it for people who are a little worried about it. I would try that first because I've seen people derail themselves by adding citrus into the cleanse, and they're all, God, I've got heartburn, and I've gotten this rash, and I don't know what's going on. But the problem is, if you do a detox and you do a cleanse, there's a good chance you're going to get a rash anyway. That's part of the detox. That's actually the toxins that going through your skin, and it's actually because your skin has a huge ability to bring things in and to release things out. And so what it is your body pushing things from inside out. And so most people who do that, you'll get the common symptoms. I don't know if you guys got this, but it's headache, malaise, you'll get some acne, and you can end up with some rashes, like not bad, but that's a detox. Don't be scared of that. Nausea is very common too. That is just your body detoxifying. That's all it is.
You make it sound so scary, Gary.
Well, no, and it is. I mean, people need to realize, because a lot of people candy coat detoxification in the beginning of it, and people, once happens, I've noticed, is they do it for a couple days, they feel awful, and they go, I've got a headache, I'm tired, and my stomach's all messed up, and I've got this funky rash on my neck, and they stop.
Right.
They don't go through it. It only lasts a couple days usually. It's 2-3 days, and usually you're over the hump, and it goes away.
I think the key takeaway there is that it might be shitty for 7 to 10 days. If it's beyond 10 days, something else is going on. Is kind of, would you guys agree? I think the main point there is detoxing can be gross, terrible, to make you feel a little not like yourself, but it shouldn't last beyond 7 to 10 days. If so, there's something else going on, or food allergy or something else happening.
And that's, again, from the previous episode we talked about, is, again, the experimentation phase. And you cannot eliminate this. There is no way to eliminate this. No practitioner, no doctor, no naturopath is ever going to say, I know exactly what's going to bother you. We're going to eliminate this, 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 and this. It's an experimentation. You have to kind of get your baseline. And the first step, the best step, is to do a detox in the beginning. And then because it is elimination too, because you basically have eliminated all foods that you're probably having an issue with, right. And then you can slowly start to bring them in. So we can't tell you what you're going to have a reaction to, and that's what we're trying to relay as well. Heath has a different method. It works. There's nothing wrong with that. My method is definitely a little more torturous.
Well, the principle here, though, is when you go paleo, you're naturally eliminating legumes, dairy, grains, and you're talking about soy, no peanut butter. And you're doing all this to achieve optimal health and to have great energy all day long, and to start getting mental clarity, stop having that brain fog. It's an anti-inflammatory diet. Your joints naturally start to feel better. That pain starts to go away. And it's just a part of it. But at first, when you start cleansing, your body's going to crave, probably for 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to crave, maybe those chips, especially corn. You're going to crave that cheese. And you know what? You got to take it out first. And then if your body can handle it, cool, put it back in small amounts. I wouldn't recommend ever putting soy or corn back in your diet, just because soy is going to stimulate estrogen in your body and make you puffy. It's proven. And the first thing doctors say to you if you get cancer is get the soy out of your diet. And it's incredible the results you'll get if you follow these principles. And we want you to feel better. So
yeah, but the point to get across is you're going to feel worse before you feel better.
This is true.
And that's one point I think a lot of people kind of it's kind of avoided in a lot of the literature and a lot of the programs out there. Is the honesty is you have to suffer a little bit in the beginning. There's no getting around it. It's not a long time, but for the cleansing, I know people who actually do cleanses 2-3 times a year, and what they're doing, the mimicking of that, is the natural patterns. Because like we spoke about in the last episode, is food, having a constant food source is something very modern. In nature, you would go through natural detoxification by the sense of starvation. That's basically fasting, not by choice. And when you do that, you automatically go into detox mode. Your body goes into repair, actually, when you're fasting, because your body looks at it as an opportunity, because digestion takes so much energy that your body actually takes that unused energy and goes and starts scavenging. It starts scavenging broken cells. When you fast, it's been proven that your body will go and attack and try and repair cancer cells. Fasting is an amazing property, and what you're doing when you're cleansing, technically, if you do kind of my cleanse, it is a fast because there is a juice fast in the middle of mine, where for 36 hours you ingest nothing but juice and it's scheduled. So yeah, I mean, just realizing that cleansing is kind of a nature balance too, because in nature, depending on the season and migratory patterns, because we were nomadic, we had to move around. So if you moved around to one source, you may have nothing but vegetables, roots, some berries, and that's all you would have. There may not be a lot of natural game around there, depending, even though if those things are around, there should be animals because they're eating them. But it's just kind of a mimic of the seasons, and I know there are cleanses based on seasons too. It can get really complicated, but just try and keep it simple.
I would just personally recommend people jumping too quickly into fasting off of a conventional diet is not always the best thing either.
Absolutely not. Should never.
So I think there's a lot of confusion, especially when you start talking in the paleo world about intermittent fasting. I think you need to have a good, solid foundation of paleo, good, nutritious food before you kind of jump into the fasting stuff. So just not to confuse those 2 points. Not to add to the confusion that's out there.
Yeah,
I talked about that whole concept. Yeah. Of people jumping into intermittent fasting, not having a clue, and especially people who are teaching it. And I talk about that you have to actually have all of your other systems taken care of first. You have to have the weight loss, you have to be on a good program, you have to have a good diet, then you can start intermittent fasting.
Right. I just don't want people to confuse the two.
I think
because they'll start off right. Well, you know how it is.
They're like, well, I drink nothing but lemon juice and water for 10 days, and I don't feel good anymore, and this is your guys' fault.
Yeah, and then I gorged myself silly for 2 days.
Then I went to Chevy's and had fajitas.
Yeah. And I felt so awful. I don't understand why. Yeah, never do anything extreme.
Learn from Gary's mistakes, guys. Learn from Gary's mistakes.
Hey, I am not perfect. I don't want to ever come across that way.
Is that recorded? Did you get that recorded?
I am recording right now.
Okay. Anyone knows has been around me. I'm an experimenter, and I have been my entire life. You name it, I've tried it, and that's why I'm so opinionated about what works and what doesn't. Because I've tried every fad. I did Atkins when Atkins was popular, and my weight was dead on. I was in great shape. I did it because everyone else was doing it, and I couldn't figure out why they were doing it. I did not Slim Fast. What's the other one where you get your box and it's all the meals are prepackaged?
NutriFit or something.
NutriFast or something. Yeah, whatever that one. Nutrisystem.
Oh, all the freeze-dried food.
God, I got so sick. But I didn't need to. I was experimenting, and that's what I've always done. And I would not recommend that. I've actually done some pretty damaging things to my body by screwing around with things I shouldn't have been playing with. So take the lesson from the guy who did it and don't do it yourself. That's what I would recommend. Don't go do any of those things. It's not very smart. But I learned from it. I don't know how anybody does those packaged meals.
Yeah, MetaFast is the new one, but that preys on going into a ketogenic state.
Yeah.
But it can be done very easily, and we teach this in many of our recipes and our philosophy here. Yeah. Is you can be paleo and be ketogenic at the same time. You don't have to rely on a MetaFast shake or meal. And they're teaching being in a ketogenic state for weight loss, and it works. And these people are losing 2 to 3 pounds a week. But the thing is, it's not sustainable. It's for the long term.
It's a bounce rate.
And they're having to continually be on that plan. And so many people, are just really having problems with it. But they lose a ton of weight. They look great, but they don't know how to maintain it. So it's better just to be paleo and keto at the same time, so you don't have to suffer.
You can't stress that enough, that it doesn't matter what gimmick or shake or product you use in the beginning. There's no way that it's sustainable without real food. Nothing is going to do what sustained long-term consumption of real paleo-based food is going to do for you. And I can't stress that enough. I don't care how you get to that jumpstart point where you're motivated and you're feeling great. Each their own, but it's just people thinking that they can just continuously, what are they going to do, buy shakes for 5 years? Like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
You know,
Well, and
it's like,
people do.
how does this,
They
I mean,
do.
that's insane.
Yeah, and
That's
they get
insane.
hooked on this food, and actually a lot of it is heavily processed on top of it, and it wreaks havoc on your digestive system. It did with
Oh,
me. I
yeah.
mean, I'd never had my digestive system so screwed up as I did with those packaged foods. And that's the problem too, is they get addicted to it, and then they're like, oh, I can't do this, and then they get lazy and they go, oh, then I have to cook. It's a whole
Right.
transition, and that's what we have to relay to people too. Being healthy is work. You have to actually work at it. There's no shortcut. There's no biohack.
Right.
Biohack this, biohack that. That's all crap. That's all to sell you some bulletproof coffee for $50 a pound or whatever it is. Don't
Well,
fall for that stuff.
just because you've lost fat doesn't necessarily mean your cells are all healthy. I think that there's a misconception out there. Of course, we associate lean body mass with, a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. But just because you're, thin or lean doesn't necessarily mean you're super healthy internally.
Yeah.
And also, just because you might be carrying a few extra pounds or, due to muscle or whatever you're doing, doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy. I mean, it's this thing where the book in the cover, judging a book by its cover doesn't always match up. So just because you've leaned out to a point doesn't mean you're doing the best thing for your digestive system, for your cells, for your skin. And that's why I talk about the real food, because then you get the best of both worlds. You're actually helping yourself, your organs, your cells, and then
by
you're also
following
leaning out. Yeah,
what
yeah.
we're teaching, what we want to say is everyone has their own set point, their own genetic set point. But I'll say based on averages, if you eat this way and you follow this, the natural side effect is you look healthy and you have a small waistline and you have muscle tone. Am I saying that's 100% with everyone? Absolutely not.
But it'll ramp up your metabolism.
Yeah.
We're about revving up your metabolism. If you rely on a shake, your metabolism starts to shut down, and then you're dependent on the shake to stay. You can get lean and skinny by consuming liquid food all the time.
That's my point. There's a million ways to get skinny. That does not necessarily mean you're doing it in a way that's healthful for your internal systems. That's all I'm saying.
If you eat real food and you're watching your sugar, you take in less sugar and you lower the carbs down. So low carb, low sugar, paleo, kind of keto diet, you're going to get ripped and your metabolism is going to be on fire and you're going to be able to consume more protein, more calories from fat, and you mix it with a little bit of exercise and voila, excellent. You're going to look great. You're not going to be thinking about weight anymore. You're going to feel great and look great. Very easy. Whatever that is, you're going to be able to achieve your optimal weight. So,
and it starts with a cleanse. We got off topic, but
yes.
The cleansing is what we're trying to talk about, but we always get off on our little tangents.
Yes.
Well, because there's existential information. There's supplemental stuff to it. It's not.
That's what the cleanse leads to, Gary.
Exactly.
I had a point. Thanks a lot.
You ramble. We all ramble. We get off track. It's easy because we like what we do. If you cannot see that we're passionate and we really enjoy what we do, boy, I mean, I think you're missing the point, because everyone who watches our videos goes, God, you guys are so animated. You guys are really, because we're really into it. This is us. I mean, this is us. So there's no props. I mean, look at me. Look where I'm at. I mean, I'm out in the sticks. Heath's in his I don't know, his closet. I don't know where he's at. This is us. We're not fronting anything. This is the real deal.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Well, anyways,
doors open. Every time we record, your doors open behind you.
I know. So what? Anyways,
underwear, dirty
make sure
socks.
you all can email us your questions. Email Gary at theprimalshow.com and Nicole at theprimalshow.com and myself, Heath at theprimalshow.com. If you have any questions, we will answer it. We want to help you. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. Each time we do a new video, you'll get emailed and notified that it's launched, so you can keep up on all the latest trends and gossip and all the other good stuff that we're going to be talking about. We are here to help you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, you too.